Morning. Welcome to our daily vlog on Unsung Heroes of the Bible. My coffee cup for today is Spamalot. Some of you might not know what that is. That's the Broadway musical of the Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail. And when I drink out of that mug, I recall the patience of my wife, who allowed me to take her to that play, Spamalot, in New York one time, a few years back. And she endured it while I laughed. But so I think about her patience when I use that mug. Well, today we're going to talk about some unsung heroes. Yes, looking at Old Testament, but also these are through the ages, these unsung heroes talked about today, not Moses, Joshua, David, those type of things. But we're thinking about who are the people that shaped those folks that we talk about. And here I'm talking about parents, these unsung heroes. Every leader, every prophet, every faithful follower of God through the Old Testament times had some unnamed teachers, unnamed parents, elders, servants, somebody who taught them the Word of God and how to follow the Word of God. So I want to honor them today in our vlog, thinking about these unsung heroes. You know, we're commanded to teach Deuteronomy 6 through 7. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. There's this necessity, there is this command for parents, leaders, but in the family in particular, to teach the Word of God as a daily affair. The survival of Israel's faith depended not just on mighty warriors or wise rulers, but just ordinary men and women who faithfully taught their children the Word. These teachers were often fathers and mothers. It could be grandparents. It could be elders, community leaders, but folks that passed on the knowledge of the Word of God and how to faithfully serve God and what God required. These are the unsung heroes that I'm talking about today. The fact is, God's truth is carried forward not by just great moments. Great moments are good things and important, but the daily, day-by-day, faithful teaching of the Word of God is so vitally important. That's where leaders come from so many times. They've been raised in that way. There's some biblical examples of these unsung heroes. The parents of Moses, Amram and Jochebed. They instilled in Moses long before he ever entered Pharaoh's court. Mothers of the prophets. Behind all of the great prophets, there was a mother who taught them about God's voice and listening to God's voice. There were those parents that were faithful in the exile of Israel in Babylon, teaching their children about God and how to follow God in captivity. You hear about that in the book of Daniel. Daniel is an example of that. Timothy's grandmother and mother, Lois and Eunice, were mentioned by Paul in 2 Timothy as being vitally important to his development. Psalm 78:4 says, "We will not hide them from their descendants. We will tell the next generation the praiseworthy deeds of the Lord, His power, and the wonders He has done." A lesson in this is sometimes the greatest impact may not come from the pulpit, but from the home. There's great influence from these unsung heroes of teachers and parents and grandparents. They preserved the faith in times of crisis. When Israel fell into sin, it was often because the parents had failed to teach their children about God. And you see this in in Judges chapter 2, for example. They oftentimes prepared the way for revival. The great revivals in Israel's history often came when people rediscovered about the forgotten teachings of the law, and perhaps parents had failed to do so. They shaped future leaders, these unsung heroes. They shaped Moses. They shaped Samuel. They shaped David. Jesus grew up hearing the scriptures and from his family. So these are vitally important unsung heroes. Proverbs 22:6 says, "Start off children on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it." Teaching the next generation is very important, and the people that do it are oftentimes unsung heroes, but we're recognizing them today. What can we learn from them? Well, we can learn that teaching the next generation has a lasting legacy. If a person wants a lasting legacy, teach your children and grandchildren. We don't have to be famous to be faithful. The greatest impact is sometimes unseen, but it shapes eternity. Every believer is a teacher, is a lesson from this as well. Whether you're a parent, a grandparent, a mentor, or friend, whatever it is, take your opportunity to pass down your faith to the next generation. 3 John 1:4 says, "I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth." Now, John was talking about his little children, believers, that people he had led to the Lord and was discipling. So the unnamed faithful who taught their children are unsung heroes, and the ones that are teaching their children today are often unsung heroes. Their names might not ever be recorded in history, but their influence of the future of God's people is vitally important. That mission is ours today, the same as it was in those Old Testament times. And the question is, will we be faithful to pass on what we've learned, what we've received, so that others may know? Well, God bless you. Have a great day.